Essentially, our focus is supporting the full public involvement process. As former transportation planners, that was our biggest challenge or frustration, was making sense of all of this in one place and feeling like there was a need to kind of standardize and leverage technology to do the right things each time. That means just bringing together all the different channels of communications with residents to try to streamline that process. And essentially, we're using these conversations to try to understand the challenge better, to try to focus our efforts to build technology to support those different processes and bring them into one place where you can report, share data, make sense of it, all those things. We see the process as essentially having 5 key steps. For MPOs and DOTs, especially that last step of compliance is a bit unique from a lot of our municipal partners, but essentially reaching the right people is the foundational element. Lowering the barriers to participation is the secondary thing that we focus on. So once you've gotten to the right people, how do we make it really easy for them to participate without having to learn a ton of new stuff? How do you capture those comments from different avenues of participation? And then in one place, be able to seamlessly output that either into raw data that you can use or into reports that you can share with stakeholders in the public. And then of course, being able to document the whole process for compliance. Just a few screens here. I think we've seen a lot of the geo-targeting outreach, the different formats for engagement. I think a big part we didn't touch on necessarily is the in-meeting participation. That's a big focus area for just making it really easy for all voices to have equal footing and not just the loudest. We see capturing things like email and text messaging and all those as part of this process. So ultimately, all that ties into a central reporting system. This is using a little bit of machine learning to identify key themes and then hand it off to staff from there. So, and this I think is our, if we have any one point that to talk about today, it's how do we move towards building a central database of participation that multiple agencies can collaborate through. That's really the vision for where we see this going. And I really appreciate you guys hopping on the call today and jumping in on these kind of meaty issues. We definitely want to keep the conversation going, and especially finding more ways for us to focus our resources to support you and to build the tools that make this work easier.